First trophy of this season was up for grabs, and it is Manchester City that comes out on top. And yes, Manchester City have officially won this Carabao Cup this year in 2026, and this is everything that we have learned from today's game in that final. For starters, Manchester City have beaten Arsenal by 2-0 in the final today. This man, Nico O'Reilly, this was his stage. He was the star of the night. He was the one that stepped up for Manchester City, which I'll get onto him even more. I'll talk about him more later on in this video. This is one of the real reasons why Arsenal lost today. It's because they had Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. As you guys can see, this is Kepa Arrizabalaga at Wembley whenever he's starting at Wembley in a League Cup final. Kepa refuses to be subbed off within the game, heading into penalties. I think that was the game. I don't know what game that was, by the way, because that's when he lost the first game. That was in 2019. Then the 2022 against Liverpool, where he missed the penalty and he loses 10-11. Sorry, I meant 11-10 on penalties. And then today, in 2026, Kepa literally, with the ball in his hands, by the way, like, Kepa literally grabbed the ball and he dropped it for Nico O'Reilly to header it in. It was an open play. He literally gifted Nico O'Reilly the goal. I mean, that was on him today. I mean, when Arsenal literally didn't know that Kepa had a Wembley curse in finals, that's why they lost today. And apparently, that was the reason why they lost today. Imagine starting your second choice goalkeeper in a final where it actually really matters. To be honest, I'll be honest, Raya should have probably started though. I mean, imagine if David Raya started that game. It could have been completely different though. But that's just hella bad. Once again, I want to talk about Nico O'Reilly. This guy is a special footballer. Literally, he as a left back though. Pep either plays him in midfield or as a left back though. He was playing in both positions though, and he was absolutely flawless though. Scored those 2 goals today against Arsenal to win Manchester City the Carabao Cup final, and he was absolutely unreal today. And the guy literally just turned 21 yesterday, and today he has literally just celebrated his birthday like even more bigger and special. I mean, it literally gets so bad because you got likes of Ryan Cherky literally toying literally on that right hand side though, and he's doing kicky ups literally at Arsenal right now. That is absolutely peak. Guardiola literally deserves massive credit. He is now 5 times Carabao Cup winner at Manchester City. I believe that's now his 40th trophy as Manchester City manager. He's honestly like the greatest manager in the world of football that we have all ever seen. So congratulations to Pep Guardiola. It's almost been 2,059 days since Arsenal last won a major trophy. That might be one of the longest trophy droughts that I have ever seen. I thought Tottenham's trophy drought was bad, but this is literally so much worse. I mean, that is the longest one that you could ever possibly have. The quadruple was apparently on, but it's off. Because as you guys can see, Arsenal literally have lost the Carabao Cup final, and they have all 3 trophies left to play for. They still got the treble. They still got the FA Cup, the Champions League, and they're still top of the Premier League by 9 points. But Man City do still have a game in hand though, and they do meet each other again at the Etihad, so who knows? The gap could be back to 3 points though if City beat Arsenal and Man City win their game in hand though. I mean, in the Champions League though, look, will they ever try and beat Barcelona to go to the final though? I'm not so sure about that, but we'll have to see though. Because look, Arsenal were literally, they came so close, but yet so far away, man. I mean, we're only in March, so we're not even until the end of the season though, but could that have serious implications for them, for their season, in their last remaining games with them? But look, Arsenal will end up probably bouncing back in some of those games though, and they'll use that and reflect, and they'll use that as a reflective and kick on for their season though after the international break. Arsenal have now lost 4 Carabao Cup finals in a row. Apparently, Mikel Arteta was like, I don't know how many games that he was unbeaten at Wembley until Manchester City came along and ended it all. Apparently, this should go down as the most boring final ever. I think this was about the first half though, because of the way Arsenal were pretty much playing though. I mean, Man City though, in the first half, they didn't even have a shot in the first half though. In the second half though, they were much better though. In the first half though, they needed a possession though, and they needed to find their rhythm, and they found their rhythm in the second half, and they got the 2 goals that they well and truly deserved though. But for Arsenal though, they were just awful in the second half though. I mean, I thought they started off really well, but as the game went on and on, they were struggling in that game today. The thing is though, Arsenal in the big games though, there is a concern for Arsenal in some big games though, because look, in big games though, Arsenal, they do tend to struggle though. I mean, you could beat your Chelsea, your Tottenham, even Bayern Munich though, but when they come up against teams like Manchester City, Liverpool's, like teams that know how to win, teams that know way actually matters in some sort of these occasions though, they stepped up though, and that's what Arsenal didn't even do. It was pretty much Manchester City that wanted it more than them, literally. And Manchester City though, they knew that it was on the line, and they absolutely got what they deserved though. And also the way they played though, I mean, they played some really bad football in that final. I mean, they was pretty much sitting back for most of the game though. Man City were literally dominating them in that second half, literally. Besides, we've all said this before, but Arsenal, they always struggle in big games, and that's exactly what happened today. It was a big game on the biggest occasion though, when it actually matters, and that's exactly what they did. They absolutely messed it up themselves. By the way, this was for Man City's first goal, where Kepa Arrizabalaga apparently, where the ball slipped through his hand and was on a plate for Nico O'Reilly to head it in perfectly for 1-0. That might be one of the worst goalkeeping mistakes that I've ever seen. But that game today was literally known as a pretty much season-defining factor for both these teams, for both the clubs and managers though. Because look, Manchester City though, them winning the Carabao Cup though, possibly would give them some boost and momentum for their remaining games of the season in all competitions though. But as for Arsenal though, look, the pressure is on Mikel Arteta, because look, even if Arsenal do not win anything this season, if they do not win the Premier League title this season, then Mikel Arteta would possibly be sacked at the end of the season though. Serious questions will be asked about Mikel Arteta though. But look, we'll see what happens, in the running of this season though. And these two meet each other again at the Etihad once more. So we'll see what happens.